Guys, based on our discussion in the National Tsunami Warning Center last week, we need to discuss in detail each of the Tsunami Ready indicators. The first indicator is about the Tsunami Hazard map. I checked with our local disaster management office, and they suggest we discuss this with a university they have been working with.
I know the lecturer there. We can discuss with her if the university is doing tsunami research. I'm sure she can help us, or at least guide us to whom we should talk to about tsunami hazards.
Okay, let's go now.
Hi, Mrs. Nana. How are you?
Hi, Aziza. It has been a while since the last time I saw you.
Yes, Mrs. Nana. It's good to see you again. Today I am with my friends from Nami Village. Let me introduce you to Azam, our community leader, and this is Adam. We are members of the Nami Community Disaster Risk Reduction Group. We would like to talk to somebody about tsunami hazards. Do you know who we should talk to?
You're in luck. I've been working with the local disaster management office. I'm currently working with a team of tsunami researchers and students on tsunami hazards. Let's go to my office. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about. So, what do you want to know?
As you know, we live in a coastal area, and our Nami village is prone to tsunami. We are working on building community preparedness based on the Tsunami Ready indicators prepared by the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. There are 12 indicators, and the first one concerns developing a tsunami hazard map. We would like to ask you about the tsunami hazard and what we can do for our community to develop a tsunami hazard map.
That is a good initiative. I'm aware of the Tsunami Ready program. I'll try to explain about the tsunami hazard. Developing tsunami hazard maps can be a complex process, but I'm sure you'll be able to understand it. Tsunami hazard maps show the area or zonation that have tsunami threat. So if the coastline of Nami Village is in a tsunami hazard zone, then you and your community are potentially at risk of being affected by a tsunami if an event occurs.
How do you know if our coastline is within the tsunami hazard zone?
You can develop tsunami hazard maps based on tsunami modeling or using historical records of previous tsunami impacts. Tsunami hazard maps are usually developed by authorized stakeholders, such as the Disaster Management Office, either at the national or local level or other relevant institutions. However, to develop a tsunami hazard map, you need experts such as geologists, seismologists, marine specialists, GIS specialists, and others. So the university usually could help on this.
We do not know if there are historical records of tsunamis impacting our village. There might be, but we haven't looked for them yet, or asked our elders about it.
Then we can use tsunami modeling. There are several technical approaches on developing tsunami hazard maps. However, it requires a lot of data, technical skills, and resources. First, you must understand the potential sources of the tsunami, local or regional, that can generate the tsunami. You must always consider the worst-case scenario. To have a good tsunami hazard map, you also need good resolution topography and bathymetry data, which are the elevation data of the land and the depths of the water. We then use computer modeling tools or software that will simulate the generation of a tsunami by a known source and the propagation of that tsunami across the sea. The depth of the water determines how fast and in which direction the tsunami travels. The topography data tells us how high the land is along the coast. We can then map the tsunami hazard area or zones, as they are often called. This is the likely area along a coast that the tsunami might impact.
Wow, you really need an expert for this. It's good that we met you, Mrs. Nana.
By the way, Mrs. Nana, what is the tsunami hazard map used for?
A very good question, Adam. Based on the tsunami hazard map, you can develop the inundation map, which is a map of the area that will be inundated if a tsunami occurs. Based on this inundation map, you can then develop the evacuation maps, plans, and procedures.
Can we use the hazard map for public information and education resources too?
Yes, of course. It is always good for the public to know the tsunami hazard and the likely inundated area, so they can always be aware and prepared.
Based on your explanation, I'm a little bit worried. What if we do not have all the information, such as the bathymetry data or computer modeling? How can we prepare this tsunami hazard map?
If you do not have all the information, you can use other means and tools that can help to indicate the hazard's area. It is always a good start to identify and understand your hazard, even if you do not have all the information. You can use historical records or information from other hazards such as storm surge, cyclone, flood. This can also be a good start to identify the hazard areas until you have better and more accurate information. You do not have to worry if it sounds complicated. The university is ready to help Nami Village in developing the tsunami hazard map and inundation map. I have researchers and students who could work on it immediately. We would be happy to support you, especially in getting Nami Village to be a Tsunami Ready community.
That would be great.
Good. Give us 3 to 4 weeks' time to prepare the maps. We will then go to Nami Village to verify the map in the field. Once it's ready, we will hand it over to you and the local disaster management office.
Mrs. Nana, thank you very much for the support. We are very happy that we came to you. We do not want to take any more of your time. We'll wait and later work with you to help verify the map. This is great! We will have our first indicator in a month's time. This hazard map will also help us to work on the other indicators later, such as the public information, outreach and education, and the tsunami evacuation map. In the meantime, we can go back to our village and prepare for the next indicator.
Yes, we can work on the data of our village population and other information. Once we have the hazard and inundation map, we will be able to estimate the number of people who are at risk in the tsunami-prone area. Great. Let's do this.